Hey everyone, welcome to my first time-lapse video. I wanted to do this video as kind of a just breakdown of my painting process. I wanted to start off the summer with a nice creative project, so I decided to do another portrait because I love painting portraits. Here I am just sketching it out. The sketch isn't the most important part, it's just kind of so my brain has a picture of what's going on in the future. Then I fill it in with a base color. Again, not that important. It doesn't matter if it's not completely like opaque. It's just a foundation for shading later on, although it is pretty therapeutic. Now ignore the fact that I'm watching YouTube. I start adding in the values of the neck, chest, and shoulders. Even though this part is decently hard because there's a lot of muscles and bones and shading always going on with that area, so it always kind of looks different in a different light. It was really fun to do, and I think this ended up being my favorite part of the painting. I kind of wanted to just stop painting it after it so I wouldn't mess it up. But yeah, I did really enjoy kind of just adding in all of these like little details. Since I am also painting this without a reference. So here I am going into the face. I did another sketch, adding in darker and lighter values. And yeah, like I said, so I'm doing this without a reference. It's only my second time doing this and my first time doing so and going into detail. Usually I use a reference to kind of get a good idea of shading and things like that, and proportions. So if things look a little disproportionate, it's because this is a learning process and I kind of wanted to challenge myself with this painting. The eyes are actually really difficult, so I took a lot of time on the eyes. It's something I want to improve on more in the future, is kind of all the detail that goes into it. And also the lips were kind of my favorite part. I do love painting in the lips, and also the Cupid's bow. Actually, yeah, I would say the Cupid's bow is probably my favorite part of any portrait. It's just like a nice little shading, like accent to the face. My least favorite part, though, would have to be the nose. Noses are so annoying for me. I'm sure there's other people who love drawing noses, but not me. I think they're the most obnoxious part to paint. Not necessarily an obnoxious part of the human body, just really obnoxious to paint. And especially since I was doing this without a reference, I cannot really tell how the light is hitting. It's kind of a very neutral lighting. The nose was decently difficult for me. And once I got most of the face done, I went in and started doing the hair, but I kind of stopped halfway through because I wasn't quite sure if it was going to look the way I wanted it to, so I ended up going back and just doing the eyes instead. I go into the same blue from before, and I add highlights, and I use a paint marker to add some of those darker values. And again, eyes are really complex, so I kind of tried to add as much detail to the iris as possible. And then I started doing the eyelashes, which ended up being way harder and more time-consuming than I thought it would be, because I put a lot of faith in this gel pen, but it turns out gel pens don't really work on canvas. So I ended up kind of mixing that up with paint on a silicone brush. And I don't usually use silicone brushes, but for this, it kind of helped a lot to add that volume to the eyelashes that I really wanted. And then I taped over all of the skin so I wouldn't mess it up, and I went back to the hair because I wasn't going to leave it unfinished. I wanted the hair to look like clouds, and I wanted it to feel wispy, if that makes sense. So I just added in a lot of values, and both white and blue and some greens. And then the stars were also very satisfying to paint. It was just very sweet and easy. Then I took all the tape off, which is also very nice. And I went back and did some more details around the face with the hair. And I actually ended up finishing the eyebrows and adding some more highlights to her face. I signed it, which of course every painter does. And then she's done. Again, a learning process, but I did really enjoy making this painting. And hopefully you enjoyed watching me paint it. I really like her, and now she's just chilling in my room for the time being. I don't know what to do with her. I hope you enjoyed, and thanks for watching.